G'day folks. Well, I just thought I'd make a attempt to turn this old LCD backlight assembly into a decent panel lamp for above this workbench. And yeah, I figured tonight would be a good night because there's not much else to do apart from assemble drawers. And I've already knocked it once before and broken one CFL tube, and then I knocked it before and broke another one, so it's do or die time for it before I end up breaking the rest of them. Thankfully they just unplugged at one end. The other ends are snapped off, but they're easy enough to remove, and hopefully the inverter doesn't mind their absence. So I just want to try and fire this power supply up at the moment. Luckily all of the pin outs are marked on the board there, including this cable here, which is inverter on off, dim or detect 5 volts, or DET 5 volt, which I'm guessing is a detection for startup or something, maybe a safety shutdown thing. Don't know, that's what a multimeter's for, to find out. If it is 5 volts and I put it across to inverter on off, it should turn it on. If not, then, well, we might pop it, but I doubt it. Usually these would use a 5 volt trigger to turn them on. Same with this side of here, it's power on off trigger, which is number 1, no connection, and 3, which is standby 5.2 volts. So it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, I'll probably have to bridge standby to power on off, and inverter on off to 5 volts or something like that. It's got ratings and things on there anyway. It's a fairly cheap looking power supply, Samsung Electromechanics, Korea. So, but it's about all I've got to play with, so I'll give it a try. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't, it's just one less bit of clutter to have around here. Okay, so I've done a little bit of probing around and research, and yes, it does have a detect 5 volts there. There's an inverter on off pin which triggers the inverter, and there is a main power on off and the 5 volt standby which you have to combine. So I've got power on off and 5 volt standby bridged out, but it's waiting for another trigger, and that's because it's not detecting 5 volts. Now remember, regardless of whether or not that relay is closed, I'd be treating all of this as live. Whatever's inside that black line around the board is mains powered, or probably hot with respect to mains. I mean, it's direct current because those main filter caps are 450 volt DC, but you would not want to touch that, so be very careful if you mess around with something like this. A lot of LCDs have a separate power supply, or their inverters are driven off the low voltage side, but big ones like this are clearly driven off mains potential, so you want to be fairly careful with that, because you can see there's rectifier, a few power switching MOSFETs and diodes feeding straight through these caps into the inverter. The rest of that's control and that sort of stuff. There's a lot of SMDs on this board as well, but I'm playing with the isolated low voltage section, which is 12 and 5 volts. So let's introduce 5 volts to the detect 5 volts. And there we go, mains relay comes on. So the inverter will be getting some power, probably not all of it. It's definitely not lighting up, but if I were to supply 5 volts to inverter on off, it should work. So that's good. And I can leave that bridged out. I should just be able to turn this thing on and off at the mains by the time I'm done. But yeah, that's getting 5 volts with respect to ground. Okay, I'm getting somewhere, but now I'm stuck with it strobing. It might be because I broke a couple of the tubes, which is a bit of a shame if it is. It comes on, and then just starts flashing. And I have tried momentarily providing power to inverter on and power on, but it only stays on if I continuously supply power. It's not a momentary push button thing. The mains board should obviously, or sorry, not mains board, but the control board that normally mounts next to it must use power switching transistors just to supply on or off. So it's a bit odd, but quite possible that it's detecting or not completing circuit with those other tubes and then going into fault mode. And I'll keep playing with it. Okay, well, I'm sort of chasing my tail here. It's just same deal. Tried different combinations of switching on the inverter and the power at different times, and it just either lights up for a second, like twice as long as it strobes for, and then shuts off, or it'll just go straight into strobing. So I don't know. I'll post this video. I'm done for tonight. If anyone has any ideas on what it might be, assuming it's not me breaking tubes, let me know. But if it's because I'm missing 2 tubes, well, unless I can substitute them with resistors or capacitors or something like that, I don't think there's much I could do. The capacitor wouldn't be any good, but maybe resistor or something, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens when stuff sits around too long. Especially something as fragile as this. So I think as I moved all the other plasma TVs down where this was living, that I ended up moving this out and broke a couple of the tubes, so it doesn't matter. It was a free trash find. If I can get more use out of it, I can. If not, I'll keep the power supply because I know that's working. Probably keep the little inverter boards on the sides because I know they're working, and throw the rest in the bin. So thanks for watching.